Greetings, fellow citizens! Today we are testing the Valkyrie, our dropship.
Where are the pipes?
And of course we have to test cockpit view with TB. To the rear, actually quite nice. Side, very nice. Top, very nice. Here you can even see the doorway. And you have this window on the bottom, which is very nice for landings. Yeah, this is good. We are starting with one missile. Front shield face 77, side stern max. 1/2 missile. Shields front 67, side stern max. 1/3 missile. Shield front 62, side stern max, center is orange and red because of big shield holes around the center, around this turret. Yeah. 1/5 torpedo. Yeah, that's a kill. Valkyrie has this big ramp at the stern, and since 3.8 most, maybe all, doors and ramps are indestructible, and I wonder if we survive 1/5 torpedo aimed at the stern, but torpedo might not hit the ramp, it might hit top, and there we are taking damage. Well, let's find out. Yeah, still a kill. I guess we don't hit exactly the ramp. The two memes explain why I do this, and I use missiles and torpedoes as my yardsticks. Valkyrie is done in 3.12. In my tests with ships in standard loadout and high alpha damage, she is about on the same level toughness wise as Andromeda, Warden, Freelancer and Retaliator, but there are some minor differences in detail. For example, Valkyrie already takes a lot of damage from 1/3 missile because she has big shield holes at the cheeks and at the center around the turret. And Valkyrie is destroyed by 1/5 torpedo. Freelancer can survive 1/5 torpedo, but not because Freelancer is that much tougher, but because size 5 torpedoes are still hitting 3 shield faces of the Freelancer, and in CRG's logic, the more shield faces an attack is hitting, the more the damage gets diluted. And Retaliator can survive 1/5 torpedo even though it only hits one shield face. I found this very interesting. This means Retaliator has more structure HPs at the front than Warden and Valkyrie. Let's take a look at the patch comparison I've did of the Valkyrie when she was introduced in 3.3 until today. I didn't test her in 3.10 and 3.11 because of the missile torpedo bug. Since 3.10 most missiles torpedoes, when aimed at front, side or stern of a target, are only hitting one shield face, and this is very bad for the targets, and CRG still hasn't fixed this. In 3.12, CRG increased the damage of size 5 and bigger torpedoes, and she is now destroyed by 1/5 torpedo. The big ramp at the stern doesn't help here. I guess torpedoes are not hitting this ramp, but the ramp is indestructible by gunfire, so don't aim at ramps and doors until CRG takes care of this bug, or I guess it was intentional. I am not so sure why CRG did this. Would I go into battle in a Valkyrie in 3.12? Yes, if I needed a dropship, I would use a Valkyrie. She can transport 20 Marines plus a vehicle, and this is really useful in certain circumstances. However, I am not a fan of the internal layout. Valkyrie is a rather new ship. I mean, yeah, she isn't brand new, but she isn't one of the older designs, and still internal layout is very bad, and you don't have a co-pilot. We have much smaller ships with a co-pilot, and such a big ship with so many dismounts and so much space for vehicles doesn't have a co-pilot. This doesn't make any sense. I made this video to show what I mean. Let's talk about the problems of the Valkyrie. No co-pilot. All dropships ever made have a pilot and a co-pilot, not only because the pilot might get overworked, but also one of those guys might get wounded or killed. As the sole pilot of the Valkyrie, you are responsible for 20 Marines plus 4 more crew members plus vehicles. This isn't a good idea. Next problem with the Valkyrie. Here are the crew stations for the side-mounted guns. Here are the beds, but there is no airlock. If this ramp should open, you are done if you don't wear a spacesuit and a helmet. There might be an air shield, but I wouldn't trust my life on an air shield. And just to show you how crazy this is, the Marines are protected, but the crew is not. Who is making such decisions? Yeah. I have a hate-love relation with the Valkyrie. I like her very much for what she does, but I don't like internal layout, and such a ship needs a co-pilot. This means my rating for the Valkyrie in 3.12 is a 3 out of 10, which is below average, but I will still use her if I need a dropship. You can find a link to my spreadsheet and a lot more useful guides in the description below. I hope you had fun watching this video and see you next time. Bye. Auf Wiedersehen. How does this look? It looks actually pretty good. Our Valkyrie mini carrier. Okay, 1 meter per second. Yeah, this looks very good. Perfect. Come on, bit more. Ouch. Okay, this should do it. Let's get out. And look what we have done. Okay, we now have a Merlin inside our Valkyrie. Hey, you are still here. You might want to join me on Twitter. My Twitter account is Camural_FFM, and this is the city I live in, Frankfurt am Main. On Twitter I post about my videos and sometimes just some funny little videos.
Action!
Would be nice if you would join me on Twitter.